Giving your child a voice. This is a common theme amongst adoptees, my experience and other adoptees that I've talked to. We don't have a voice, and specifically a voice about our real internal experience about adoption. So first off, I want to acknowledge that my son is going to be very loud in the back of this video. It's just real life. So I also want to acknowledge that every other adoptee's situation is vastly different. They could have gone through foster care, adopted at birth, adopted at when they were a teen. I don't know, but what I do know is there's a common theme that our voice and our power and control has kind of been taken away. And it's a common theme, so I want to address it and try to give my opinion on what can be done to give your child a voice in your own home. So, let me see. Yeah, our internal experience can be way different than what we present on the outside, because a lot of us, we learn to people please from a very young age because we are loyal to our adoptive parents. And speaking about our birth family or the questions we have about our adoption, they just kind of go unaddressed, and we don't, a lot of times I never had the words, or young children don't have the words to say, I really want to see what my birth family looks like. It may be offensive or hurt our adoptive parents, so we don't speak about it. And if we cannot speak our internal experience with our own family, within our own household, where are we supposed to go? Because therapists are often not prepared or educated on adoption trauma or adoption questions. They don't know how to speak to other adoptees or identify with them. So let's see. You can ask your child, simple exercises. You can ask your child, do you feel like you are given a voice to talk about your adoption within your house? You can just flat out ask them and see what they say. If they say yes, if they say no, they don't even think about it. Obviously, this is a age thing. If they're very, very young, this should be, common, reasonable age to have a conversation. And even into adulthood, this could be done. You can ask your adopted child, even if they're an adult now, like, hey, do you think you have a voice, or would you like to speak about your adoption experience? I've never really heard it. Or, how do you feel like you've got to voice what you experienced? And see what they say. And if not, if they say, no, I don't feel like it's okay to talk about my adoption, my birth family, my race, my origins, then you can ask why. You can dig deeper. And you can ask if your child has a voice about their race. I'm kind of repeating myself now, I apologize, but you can do the exercise. I made a video on it called The One Exercise You Should Know. When the child is old enough to have a conversation, obviously you have to make that a reasonable assumption. You have to be a trustworthy person. Obviously, this is about very, very sensitive topics and very emotional and painful topics. So you have to take the initiative. In my experience, going to talk about my parents was just like, you don't talk about adoption. You don't talk about your biological family, because the loyalty to my parents and other adoptees saying the loyalty to their parents, the rule surrounding adoption and being an adopted kid is you do not talk about adoption. You don't talk about race. You don't talk about this, because first off, my parents didn't understand race. My parents didn't think racism existed. My parents didn't think that it was important for me to talk about my adoption, because they gave me a loving home and they thought they have given me everything and they were doing everything for me, and that if I brought up a problem or something about, I really want to see my biological family, that now I'm being ungrateful. And that's the reason why it took away my voice, at least. So the exercise is, you pick a topic. Maybe say you're an adoptive parent. You pick a topic and go and tell your kid, obviously this is you being a trustworthy person. You say, hey, I want to hear about your adoptive experience. Do you feel like you can talk about it? You set a timer, 5 to 10 minutes. Say, I would love to hear about you talk about your biological mother, because that is highly important to adopted kids. And you say, I'm not going to say anything, I just want to listen. Set a timer for 5 minutes and just sit there and wait for them to say something. And it's going to be extremely awkward. It's going to be extremely uncomfortable for both of you, but you need to learn to listen. The adopted child needs to learn to speak and be listened to. And this is the foundation that can build a voice for your adopted child, and it can be extremely rewarding. It can create bonds, it can create trust. And the point of this is to not talk about it afterwards. So this is what builds trust. You don't talk about it with your family, you don't talk about it with anybody else. You keep it between you two, and you never speak about it again. And then this builds a safe space to, if you want to do it again on a different topic, maybe next time you say, hey, I really want to hear you talk about how you feel about your race, or do you feel that, you know, you're fitting into this family? Like, how do you feel about it? What's your internal experience? Something along those lines. Obviously, this is just a general kind of blanket question I'm asking, but you can come up with your own. But the point is, you set a specific timer and you do not speak. You learn to listen. The adopted child learns to be okay with speaking, knowing that their voice, whatever emotion comes out, you can actually say any emotion is okay with me. And even if your personal feelings, it makes you extremely uncomfortable and a little bit defensive, these tough conversations are absolutely required to actually get to know your child and feel like there's trust and a voice for them. So say that you can speak any emotion and any emotion will be okay with me. And there might be a lot of anger, there might be a lot of sadness, there might be crying, there might be rage, there might be sadness and grief, and anything can come out, and you have to sit there and be uncomfortable, and you don't speak about it again. And this is incredibly important for building that voice in your child. And let's just say you don't do this and you don't want to be interested in giving your child a voice, or you don't think it's important. This can have horribly damaging effects to their confidence, self-esteem, self-image, how they interact with other people. And I speak from experience, and other adoptees experience. Sorry, I cannot speak today. So I think that's it. Yeah, to be seen, to be heard, to be supported, to be validated as an adopted child is a need that is often denied, because I personally think that adopted parents think that they give their adopted kids everything: a loving home, more money, they take them out of a bad situation, and they think that more opportunity and more money is giving their child everything, when really we want connection, a voice, trust, to be understood. We want help with support with our biological family, finding out answers. What do I look like? What does my biological mother look like? What does my biological father look like? Do I have brothers? Do I have sisters? You know, where can I go to my place of origin? Will you support me? Will you bring things from my culture into this house? Can you support my culture by maybe making a meal, or bring food, or like activities that my culture does? And this can be highly offensive to an adopted parent, and so we don't ask. So yeah, I really hope this helps. I'm kind of all over the place. I'm trying to kind of rush it because my kid's running around crazy. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. You are appreciated, and I really hope this helps. I'm still learning how to be as helpful as possible on these videos. So yeah, hope you had a good Christmas, and hope you have a happy new year. It's coming up.